The Philippines is fortunate to have rich soil and some hectares of forest that are home to several indigenous species of flora and fauna. Among these species are fruits and vegetables that have become part of the culture of several areas in the country since these have become part of their diet or consumption. Seven crops, fruits and vegetables, indigenous to the Philippines. Number 1 Lagikwe, Abelmuscus manihot. This plant, botanically known as Abelmuscus manihot, usually abounds in Quezon Province, Bicol, and places in Mindanao like Dinagat Island, Zamboanga, and other provinces. One indigenous vegetable bush that should be popularized in many parts of the country is what variously called lagikwe, gikwe, and likwe, depending on the place where the plant is grown. The young leaves are the edible portion. In Bicol, the leaves are usually used for rapang fish for pinangat, or paksiw. In Zamboanga, likwe, that's what they call it there, is used in soupy dishes like sinigang and other vegetable preparations. Aside from the preparations cited above, the young leaves can be blanched in microwave. Then dips the blanched leaves in soy sauce with calamansi. You can mix an omelette out of the young leaves too. What is good about lagikwe is that it has a neutral taste. It has no distinct or strong aroma that may not be liked by some consumers. The lagikwe is related to the okra, and its leaves have that slimy characteristic of the okra and saluyot. This characteristic, many believe, is proof that it has special health values. Okra, which is a favorite of the Japanese, is believed to absorb extra cholesterol in the body. What is also good about lagikwe is that it is a perennial bush that can be maintained in the backyard as a sustainable source of the fresh vegetable. It can be grown in the ground as well as in pots or containers. For as long as it is well taken care of, it will thrive for many years. Number 2 Pacodiplasum esculentum. Known as fiddlehead fern or vegetable fern in English, paco is an indigenous fern that's eaten as a vegetable. It grows well in shaded areas with little disturbance and lots of water such as riversides, waterways, and edges of forests. Ferns are commonly used for ornamental purposes or as a feed for livestock. However, there's an indigenous fern that's being grown as a vegetable, the Pacodiplasum esculentum. Paco can be found and harvested during sunny days, especially when the rivers and streams are clear or when the plants are clean and dry. When harvesting, collect only from healthy groups of plants. Select the semi-mature fronds that are at the stage when it is unfurling or when half the frond has already unfurled. Cut the leaves by the stalk at about 20 to 30 centimeters above the base. Avoid damaging the rhizome so the plant can regenerate. More importantly, make sure that paco is the one being picked and not the poisonous, or so locals say, fern that grows alongside and looks much like it. Nonetheless, paco is another indigenous vegetable that should be promoted and preserved because not only does it look good as an ornamental, it is a good source of nutrition to those who consume it, and also importantly, it's also really delicious. The vegetable can be prepared in traditional ways such as steamed, mixed in a salad, sautéed with garlic and onion, or cooked with coconut milk, gata. Number 3 Capus Telos microcumbens, Blanco, Mer. Capus Telos microcumbens, Blanco, Mer, is also commonly known as Agwan di Dalam, Ifugao, Padpadal, Dujip, Kuredeong, and Dukep, Ilocano, Kapok and Latok, Tagalog, Laknad, Bagobo, and Sabernocam, Ampupuyat, Pusa, and Bagbagkong. It can be found in thickets and secondary forests from Ilocos Norte to Sorsogon, Mindoro, Cuyo, Biliran, Leyte, Negros, Mindanao, and basilan. Kapis flowers usually open during the summer and its fruits are numerous during the months of August to December. In Ilocos, flowers and fruits are sold in bunches during its season of flowering and fruiting. It is a woody vine with leaves that are thin, ovate to oblong-ovate, and slightly heart-shaped at the base. Flowers are green-yellow, odorless, and hairy, while the fruit is lanceolate, green, angular with 4 sides and narrow wings. Seeds are black, flat, and crowned with long silky hairs. In Ilocos Norte, immature fruits are used for viands such as dinengdeng, or are roasted. They are also used as inflorescence for salads. Ilocanos and Tagbanos in Palawan use this plant for the same purposes. The fruits have the consistency and taste of string beans, some compare its taste to that of winged beans. Fresh leaves and stems, though, have been reported to be poisonous to pigs. For folk medicine, an infusion or decoction of kapus leaves is used to cleanse or treat wounds, scabies, and ulcers. The leaves are also applied to the forehead to treat headaches. In Vietnam, the whole plant is used as a substitute for licorice due to its sweet taste. Number 4 Himbabao, Brucinetia luzonica. Was there a time when you encountered Ilocano cuisine and you noticed a strange ingredient that's long, green, and looks like it's from out of this world? No need to fret, the strange vegetable is called himbabao and it's actually a flower from a tree of the same name. Internationally known as birch flower, the himbabao, or alukon in Ilocano, alibabag in Ibanag and aplat in Kapampangan, comes from a medium-sized perennial tree that can grow up to reach a height similar to a main electric pole or more. The tree thrives all over the Philippines and its fruit commonly used as a vegetable in particular areas of Luzon. Himbabao thrives well in underbrushes located in low and medium altitude and dipterocarp forests. Himbabao bears male and female flowers on separate trees. The male flowers, known as catkans, are valuable and can be seen hanging from tree branches like twisted or curved tubes that are about 10 centimeters in length. Catkans are yellowish-white with a hint of green and are covered with short woolly hairs. Meanwhile, the female flowers are misshapen greenish globes with scales which the Ilocanos call mild spinach. Flowering season extends from February to April, when himbabao trees are covered with floral spikelets that are harvested by Ilocanos as an ingredient for their vegetable dishes such as dinengdeng, inabro and pinakbet. Aside from its culinary use, himbabao also has benefits. Its tree has important functions in agro-ecosystems because its dense foliage effectively blocks out the sun, thus making them good shade plants for abaca and other similar crops. It can also be used as the pioneer species for reforestation attempts of denuded areas and a means to manage areas near rivers or waterways. However, growing himbabao isn't easy since its seeds form only when male and female flowers are close to each other. If pollination doesn't seem to be an option, himbabao can be propagated through cotyms. The tree is also susceptible to attacks from aphids, mites, white flies, as well as butterfly and moth larvae. Nonetheless, the himbabao is one indigenous vegetable that shouldn't be overlooked. Number 5 Sugod-sugod, Momordicaco chinchinensis spring. The sugod-sugod, Momordicaco chinchinensis, Lor. Spring, is a vegetable indigenous to Southeast Asia. It is a perennial, dioecious plant, with separate male and female plants, belonging to family Cucurbitaceae and is adapted to tropical and temperate climate conditions. In the Philippines, it is known as sugod-sugod, or Balbas bakiro. Other names include Cochinchingord, Gak, Vietnam, Phak Cao, Thailand, Bot Kerala, India, Mok Nai 2, China, and Mok Khao, Laos. It grows as a perennial vine and bears round to oblong dark orange fruits covered with spines. On the inside, the yellow flesh and the red aryl membrane surrounding the seeds are the edible parts. Sugod is gaining popularity because of its high carotenoid content, particularly lycopene and beta-carotene. These are known to help reduce the risk of various types of cancer. Both fruit meat and aryl contain high amounts of these phytochemicals, but these are found in higher concentrations in the aryl. Sugod is also reported to have immunomodulatory, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antioxidant, and anti-diabetic activities. The oil extracted from the fruit is also found to be high in vitamin E. Aside from the medicinal uses, the crop also has the potential to be used as a source of natural colorant for industries. Variations among the germplasm of sugod are observable in terms of fruit shape and fruit size. The different fruit shapes include round, elliptical with pointed end, oval, flattened bottom, oblate, and semi-cylindrical. Differences in lycopene and beta-carotene content are also observed. However, there are still no recommended varieties in sugod. Sugod can be propagated through seeds and stem cuttings. However, seeds can develop into either male or female plants. Thus, it is recommended to grow plants from the seeds then increase the number of female plants through stem cuttings. The cuttings are grown in a plastic bag filled with garden soil and compost for 3 to 4 weeks, after which the plants are transplanted 1 meter apart. Since it is a vine, trellising is required for plants to fully develop. Since it is already established that sugod is a highly nutritious indigenous vegetable, it has a high potential to be developed as a functional food. Development of food products derived from processing sugod would help increase people's awareness regarding its nutritional value. Its aryl can also be a source of natural dye.
Number 6 Gabi Colocasia esculenta L. Shot. Gabi Colocasia esculenta L. Shot, known in English as taro, cocoyam, elephant's ear, dashim, and edo, is also known in Philippine local names as natong, katna, gaway, bicol aba, abalong, balong, dagmay, gaway, kimpoy, lagbay, budig, basayan, badyan, hananu, aba, awa Ilocano, atang Idois, and sudi ivatong. In addition to the names listed here, there are still more names: carrot, peacock pising and palik in Ilocos, guta and otan in Capiz, and many more. Gabi's many names extend to its other edible parts. The petiole may be called tangkay, paklang or vunes. The young leafless runners are called takway, aliquay or even balong or abalong, which is used interchangeably with the local name of the cultivar that produces a lot of runners, popularly used in Panay Island's dagmay and lawing dishes. The starchy corms may be called laman, ogat, tayad, aba or awa. Known as taro in English and primarily considered as a root crop in many parts of the world, gabi is one of the oldest food crops that grow almost everywhere in the Philippines, which is why many areas have found one way or another to add it into their cuisine. Filipinos embrace gabi as a starch source for snacks, dessert, and as a vegetable. Its roots and leaves are used in many dishes around the Philippines such as paksiw, laing, and more. Did you know that the use of many distinct local names for a vegetable is an indication of how long it has been grown? With these many distinct names for the plant and its edible parts across the different linguistic groups, Filipinos must have been growing and eating gabi since antiquity. Gabi leaves are large, like downward pointing hearts, green and waxy on the upper surface, while pale bluish-white with a frosted appearance underneath. The leaf is supported by a long petiole or stalk originating from an upright tuberous rootstock, called a corm, laman. Gabi can reproduce sexually by seeds, or vegetatively by corms, cormels and runners. It is more common, though, for gabi to be grown by vegetative means rather than by seed. Soil must be loosened first, either by creating furrows on a flat bed, or digging 10 cm deep holes in hilly areas. Plant gabi at least 50 cm apart. It takes at least 8 months to harvest time, when leaves start to yellow and dry up. Due to its allelopathic effect, it may not be advisable to plant gabi in the same area continuously. From north to south, there is always the Ginatong gabi, in some form or another, with some or all of its parts cooked in coconut milk or gata, including the famous Loing and Piningit. The wide variation in gabi's features has encouraged national academic and research institutions to establish germplasm collections and conduct varietal screening and evaluation programs. Until 2007, the Philippine Root Crops Research and Training Center based at the Visayas G10. Work continues to identify more high-yielding varieties adapted to either lowland and upland areas, resistant to insect pests and diseases and have good eating quality. Indeed, gabi holds much potential for human nutrition, livelihoods resiliency and climate change mitigation.
Number 7 Batuan, Garcinia binucaw. Batuan, Garcinia binucaw, is a tree reaching a height of about 25 meters and a diameter of 40 centimeters. Leaves are opposite, shiny and smooth. The newly emerged leaves often exhibit a reddish color. The branches tend to be pendulous. The bark is black in color. Flowers are small, red and borne in clusters. Fruits are yellowish when mature, somewhat rounded, and 4 centimeters or more in diameter. They have a firm outer covering and contain a very acid pulp with several seeds. The batuan is a favorite among the Visayas and is known for being sour. It is this acidity that makes the indigenous popular for those who love bold flavors or are looking to lower their chances of having diabetes. The batuan fruit has potential uses in many food products aside from its traditional use as a souring agent in many local dishes. The fruits can be preserved by slicing it into thin pieces and then drying it under the sun. It can be made into pickles. Dried fruit slices are valued as a traditional remedy for dysentery. The study also sought to determine the phytochemical content or biologically active compounds of batuan. At the same time, it looked at how the fruit's antioxidant properties counter the production of free radicals that damage cells. It also examined the fruit's alpha-glucosidase or alpha-glucosidase inhibition action, similar to those found in anti-diabetic drugs used for type 2 diabetes. Because it is not cultivated, batuan fruits are collected from the wild. Its development into a pharmaceutical may reverse what was seen to be its decline in stocks as forests are logged for shifting cultivation.
Indigenous vegetables have since become an important part of our culture and cuisine. Some dishes or traditional remedies may not be the same without these ingredients, which is why indigenous crops need to be preserved for our benefits and the next generations.